Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are in the beautiful Port Douglas and we're just down on the beach, and Peter is going to go through his thoughts about what he thinks before he packs his camera bag, before he lifts a camera, and what he's thinking while he's shooting about camera settings and lenses and stuff. He's just going to run you through that in this beautiful part of the world.
So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I'm thinking before I even pick up the camera, or before I take the bag out of my car, or even before I pack my bag. So my thinking today was to keep this minimal. So if I could only come out to this spot with two lenses, what two lenses would I bring? So if I was only going to come out with one lens, I'd just bring my favorite lens. And it doesn't matter what your favorite lens is, just take that. It's the one you're most comfortable with, and it's the one that you take the best pictures with. I haven't brought out my two favorite lenses. I've brought out the two lenses that are going to give me the most flexibility and keep my kit really light. So I've picked my 50 millimeter. It's a f1.4 and it's a minimum focus of 0.7, which means I can get in much closer to the subject on than my favorite lens, which is a 50 millimeter, but it focuses down to only 1 meter. I brought out my 90mm f2, which focuses down to about 1 meter. And I really like that lens, but my favorite lens is the 75, but that's so close to the 50, it's not giving me the flexibility that I want to use for that. So that's the reason behind my selection today. If I was only going to come out with one lens today, I would have come out with my 75. But coming out with only two lenses to give me a lot of flexibility, it'll be this 50 and the 90 that I have in my bag now. So the next thing is where I get asked a lot, what were your camera settings? You know, what was your aperture? What was your shutter? What was your ISO? And I can understand those questions because I quite sort of think of that myself, even looking at my own work. And I was watching one of my videos just recently that I had filmed on a beach and thought, oh, I wonder what aperture I was shooting out on. And I've gone, it doesn't matter, because I remember when I was on the beach shooting it, I just carefully filmed a little bit and had looked back and go, oh yeah, I like that depth of field I'm getting there, so that's what I'm going to run to. So there is no perfect aperture or perfect shutter speed. It's the one that's going to work best for you on the job that you're doing. So if I want to get a bit of motion blur, I'll go slow shutter speed. If I want to get a sort of a nice grainy sort of look, I'm going to go for a higher ISO, especially on cameras like on the Leica and the Hasselblad. I know the ISO that's going to give me sort of like a filmicky type of emulsion on the look of the camera. I then put my brain into where I wanted my priority. So if I want to have a little bit of motion blur, or if I want to freeze completely, I'll set my shutter in my head. What shutter am I going to shoot at? Set that on the camera and adjust my ISO and aperture, and vice versa. If I've decided I want to shoot this at f5.6, I'll then adjust my other settings to be able to shoot at 5.6. I'm going to start off on the 50mm, and I'm just going to find a spot which I like just within this area right here. I'm just going to move around with Bec till I find the background, the light and everything that I like. Then I'm going to shoot it at a couple of different apertures, and then once I've got my final picture and the aperture that I like and the angle I like, then I'm going to stick on the 90 and see the comparison between those two. So I'm thinking of just shooting here with this background. Now, the couple of things I see straight to my eyes, there's a couple of hot spots that light is in the background, and if I find those too obnoxious in the picture, I'll just change my angle to suit the type of picture I want. The next thing I'm going to look at is the light that's on Bec's face. So right here we've got a really nice light, because basically she's been lit by the bounce off the sun, because the light is sitting behind her. So everything that's lighting her is what's bouncing off the sun and off the sky. So right away, I don't even have to worry about the lighting on Bec, because I can move pretty much from here right through to about the same angle on the other side, and I've got a nice light. So next thing is to frame up my picture. I'm going to start off at 1.4 at 100 ISO, and I'm just seeing 400th of a second. I've got nothing overexposing on Bec. Now right here, if I just take this picture now, cool. What I'm setting up now is I'm just setting up my focus little zoom in patch, just so, because I'm manual focusing, I can just zoom in, just double check that I'm as sharp as I want to be and where I want. That's really cool, that's really pretty. So I'll take this shot, the shot they've just brought up, you'll see that there's a highlight blowing off in the background. You'll see just above her shoulder, there's another highlight there. I'm finding that's going to drag my eyes off Bec. I'm just going to now try and reposition so I don't get such a strong highlight taking over the picture. And if I take a shot just here, I'll just get a focus. Cool. You'll see down in the bottom right-hand corner, I've got now a highlight on the sand, which I'm also finding a little bit annoying. So if I come around a little bit further, I'm just trying to find an area where I can remove the annoying highlights, which is about there. If I come in here, that's really pretty. It's really pretty. Cool. That's stunning, stunning, stunning. It's really pretty. So I'm quite happy with this spot here. Cool, that's really nice. So I've just taken a couple here. I'm really happy with this. There's a tiny bit of blowout, which doesn't really worry me that much. These were all shot at f1.4. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just dial this up at 5.6 and adjust my ISO and shutter. So I'll bring the shutter down to say 200th of a second. ISO sitting at 800th of a second. Now I'm going to reframe up this picture, not to get that as blurry, bright. That's cool. That's really pretty. Cool. Stunning, stunning. That's really pretty. So missing focus. Nice, nice. That's really pretty. I like that. I really like that. Cool. So this was one of my favorite shots that was shot at 5.6. I'm just going to compare this to one of my favorite shots that was shot at f1.4. Now there's no right or wrong. It's to your taste. You can do whatever you like. A picture like this, having that detail in the plants behind or not having a detail in the plants behind is your creative license. There is no right or wrong, and don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be doing it, because if you like it, that's your art. I'm just going to see what I get if I come around a little bit further, and I'm getting a fair bit of blow off behind Bec. So I'm still at, cool, that's really pretty. Still at 5.6. Cool, cool. Two reasons I've come around further. I'm really liking the bushes in the background heading out of, like, down along. I'm getting a little bit of blowout on the sand. So what I could do is I can come into here, take that blowout completely out. Cool, that's really pretty, that's really pretty. And because I can come right into this close with the 50, I can sort of control what's clipping in the background. Cool, that's really cool. I love that, it's pretty. Nice, just there, that's really pretty. Cool. So I'm just going to set up one more shot, and this is based on me comparing the 50 to the 90. And let's just shoot them both at f2 to start with. And you've seen me harp on this before. One of the reasons I really like cameras that have overexposure warning or zebraing in the viewfinder is I can get my exposure exactly how I want it. What I'm basically doing is taking my picture up to overexposed, just getting my warnings going off where I don't want it to be, and just bring it back 1/3 of a stop, which is giving me the most information in the picture, which means the lighter I can make it, the more details are going to be in the blacks, without clipping any of the whites that I care about. So I'm f2, 100. Let's just crop at your belt so I can remember. I really like that. That's really pretty. Cool, beautiful. I'm liking this angle too because the wind is just slightly blowing across Bec from behind, which means it's going to keep pushing the hair into Bec's face, which means she's going to keep moving it. There, cool. Stunning, stunning, stunning. That's cool. That's really cool. Cool. So I'm just going to swap to the 90mm now. So I got the 90 on now at f2. That's really pretty. That's really pretty. I really like that. Beautiful, beautiful. So every now and then I'm just punching in, make sure I've got the eyes nice and sharp. Cool. Because I'm an eye photographer. Cool, that's really nice. That's really pretty. That's cool. That's really cool. 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 So this is my favorite picture out of the 90 at f2. And if I compare this now with my favorite picture out of the 50 at f2, and only you can decide which is the one that you prefer. And the more you do things like this, the more you might never go out with a 90, or you might say, I'm just not going to shoot with a 50, I'm just going to go for my look. Final thing I'm just going to do is compare the 90 at f2 and the 90 at 5.6. So I'm just going to take a couple of pictures on the at 5.6. So 200th of a second, 5.6. Cool, that's really pretty. That's really pretty. I like that. Cool, cool. Just beautiful, just there. Cool, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm loving this look back. Cool, 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 cool. So now I'm going to show you, this is my favorite picture at f5.6 on the 90. This is my favorite picture at 5.6 on the 50. Again, you can make up your own mind over them. And then we'll just compare the 90 at 5.6 with the 90 at f2. And there's no right or wrong. Everybody's going to have their own taste. Everyone has their own flavor. Everyone knows how much chili they want on their food. Everyone knows how much salt they want on their food. And it's everybody's different. So you've got to shoot to your taste, not to other people's taste, unless you're working commercially.
So we hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, I will put up some other videos around my head that are kind of similar to this one.